And welcome back to Jeff Koinange live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski. Very important subject here, gambling, betting, the way forward. It's a good thing we have Deputy Minority Leader Jacob Midiwo in the house, because he has been talking about regulating this thing. There's a lot of betting going on, a lot of casino business going on illegally in the city that has to be regulated. And of course, the CEO of SportPesa, former KQ captain Ronald Karauri, and on the far end, someone who recently just won, get this, 23 million shillings one time. Francis Kaguri, he's a seedling seller in Kitale. Somebody say, oh my. Francis,
yeah.
So, ukashinda.
Yeah.
Kivipi?
Nitumia just 100.
No, come on, man. What? No. 100 shillings?
Yeah, just 100 for one bet.
Ilikuwa bet gani?
Jackpot.
Jackpot has 13 games.
Okay.
13 games,
And
yeah.
you have to get them all right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he got them all right.
He did.
Was he alone or were there others?
He was alone.
Alone.
Sometimes you get many people guessing the same game, so
In
they
which
share.
case you share, yes.
So he won the whole prize.
23 meter.
23 meter, man.
Did you send him the money in a lump sum?
How did we?
Yeah.
What is Umaji?
Nilipata kwa message.
You got a message, alafu?
Alafu?
How did you get the money? Account ama nini ama?
Yeah, watu wa SportPesa walikuja paka nyumbani kunitembelea, kunipea ile check kisha kaniweke kwa account.
Aha. So, umefanyaje na yodo?
Bado sija zitumia.
You see? Maybe he's not quite sure the money is there.
It's just sure, except usema hiyo hapa Nairobi.
Francis, utaitumia?
Nairobi
Yeah.
ni
Una plans?
Yeah,
Una mpango?
plans, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, Captain,
Yes.
I have a message here, a text from Shiroa Jogona. She says, ask the CEO whether he is involved in match or game fixing.
Yes.
Because last week my grandmother copped me cash. She was told of sure bet and she lost terribly.
Yes. Now, good question. And this is something we have been actually warning the public about. People are taking advantage of our business, whereby they start talking about sure bets. They can fix matches. Basically, they're defrauding the public, saying they can guarantee results for games, which doesn't happen.
No.
It's unfortunate that happened to someone, and it's becoming prevalent. But we must get the message out that you cannot fix the matches. You can. It's what we call this sports betting is a skill-based form of gambling, whereby you do your research properly, most likely you'll win. Of course, on the off chance Barcelona might lose to Gor Mahia.
Yes,
But
yes.
it's not going to happen every day.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people need to know that there are no guaranteed or fixed matches. Same way there's no guaranteed stock pick.
Okay, with Francis over there. Francis, Usha bet after ulishinda.
Yeah.
And?
Nika lose na nika win.
Ngapi ingine?
Nilikuwa win 15,000. 1,000.
Ale?
Yeah. Hivyo.
Kwani huwa na nini?
No, and that's why, Jeff, I'm saying, when we talk about sports betting, you can never say someone is losing all the time. If I bet 100 shillings today on Arsenal and I lose, and I bet tomorrow on Man United and I lose, either I'm picking the wrong teams all the time. You know, there's some sort of skill. You must know what you're betting on.
Mheshimiwa.
What we advocate for is for responsibility.
What I to be saying
Go on.
Yes.
is that they need help. If you listen to the story of the young lady
Yes.
who
Who copped from a grandmother.
about a week ago, there was I'm drafting a law against this thing. So somebody who is involved showed me a story in the newspaper, and this lady was in hospital. Her husband tried to kill her. She sold a house, good property
I saw that.
in Nanyuki. You saw that
Yes,
thing?
I saw that.
I remember it was on page 12 of a certain newspaper. That person sold property, the household property, without involving the family, and the husband nearly killed her.
Yes.
Now, what he's saying, what I have also heard, I was told by people that especially the local teams, with our levels of corruption as Kenyans, I'm told now there's something called a betting consultant. There's another career created, which is not them. People taking advantage of their, it's like a bookie.
Right.
You go and give him your 10K and say, what are the odds? So they say, they begin with the referee. Then this team must win. And with the levels of corruption around us, how can that be discounted? You understand? And I can tell you where it is happening, it is not even at their level.
Right.
Because now this person called betting consultant, I'm told is a new career in town.
Betting consultant.
Betting consultant. Somebody even told me there are a couple of offices in Kisumu. You don't have to do the things he's saying, skills.
No.
You walk in and
someone will do it for you.
Yeah, but what would stop somebody like that from penetrating the system?
Yeah, the KPL.
Especially the lower you go. The lower you go. So these are what I hear the captain to be saying is that we really need to talk about this issue.
But can it be foolproof, Captain? Can it ever be foolproof? You talk about the EPL. That one, and I'm sure it went through its rough period before it stabilized. But with Kenya, like Mheshimiwa says, what's to stop someone from bribing a referee?
Yes.
To look the other way or to call a penalty or to, what's to stop? So that the other team wins.
Yeah, I understand, Jeff. And that's one thing we must also demystify. For us as the betting company, remember these people are stealing from us. So for us, we discourage any sort of such activity whatsoever. The second thing, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. As you have said correctly, the EPL went through this. All we need to do is borrow from them what they have done to curb any such behavior. And then, remember, even for the players, what we do, if we ensure that these players can aspire to something, there's something in the career of football that they need to look forward to, then they don't have to look for these shortcuts. Even if I'm getting 10,000 now, if I know my future as a player will take me even to play in the Premier League, I will concentrate on the game. Those are the things we need. And we do need regulations. What I want the MPs to do, Mheshimiwa, of course, is here, and I see now that he's one of the people who really understands what's going on, is to engage the stakeholders. Because it's very easy for Parliament to wake up and do something that can end up in lawsuits. It's not going to help anybody.
Sure.
So we can collaborate. Wherever they need clarification on where they think there are holes, we sit down and we find a way of how to make this
Absolutely.
better.
Francis, ukisikia watu wamejiua juu ya betting, usikiaje?
Sikia mbaya, lakini sipo kufanya hivyo juu kama alikuwa na familia ameacha, sema wacha kwa shida ili tu angevumilia na sikume life.
Na kuna wengi washapoteza pesa mingi huko.
Sijaisikia. Sijaisikia. Kesi nimesikia ni watu nyako na win, na mimi siko na win wakati hiyo. Sasa inanipa motisha kucheza zaidi.
Na wewe maximum yako ya kubet ni ngapi? Ulisema hiyo 100 hiyo ukashinda. Lakini ingine
200, 1000 hapo, yes, pita 1000.
Is that the average, Captain? Is that the average that people?
Average bet is 200 to 300 shillings. And I want to comment on the people killing themselves.
Yes.
Because we have a responsibility also on responsible gaming. Betting control as the regulator have also, again, then I don't know what they're doing. So we'll be at the forefront in pushing. We have already measures in place to encourage responsible gaming. We'll improve them because, again, we don't have to invent the wheel. But then there's a story of someone who hanged themselves. And when it happened, I was very concerned because that was the first case that got a lot of coverage.
Yes.
We discovered it was a fake story. The problem is that it came even into the mainstream media. We went to do the research because the name was there. It was supposed to be in Eldoret. It didn't exist. Somebody had put a story in the blogs which picked up steam, and that's why I'm saying, because of our industry right now, there are many stories, unsubstantiated stories that are out there that we don't know, we cannot verify. It's very sad that someone can reach that point, but we must be the ones advocating for responsibility.
Sure, I agree, Captain. Also, in East Lee, on 11th Avenue, there's a guy who walked into one of
Casino?
these...
Yes.
And he lost a lot of money.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
And then he came out and was stoned, or
I don't know, he had a knife.
yeah, he had a knife. He knifed a couple of people, bouncer, whatever,
Yes.
and then he was stoned to death.
Yes.
Those
but
desperate-
Jeff, yeah, those stories are there. But we have people killing each other over drunk driving. We have people committing suicide.
Sure.
So we need statistics before
no,
we can say,
yeah, but
you know, this is a problem.
Yes.
Let's not base it on
on
stories.
one situation.
Or stories.
exactly. But
Yes.
you know, let me tell you, the day I brought this issue in Parliament,
Yeah, yeah.
the next message I got was that a border next to my home that I know had just committed suicide because he lost in one of these betting things 9,000 shillings. So these are real stories. The thing is, you have kids, especially with these slot machines and gambling dens around. You have kids who leave home for school, don't get to school. You have kids who squander school fees. This is really, you know, in my job, it falls under Article 95 of the Constitution. Solve issues that affect the people. And I happen to understand that. You know, in the story of that lady who went and who copped some money to the
From
grandmother.
Yes.
Because, you know, gambling gets to a point where you become compulsive. So you can't control yourself.
No.
But now, on what I would want Captain to clarify, say this is a game of technique. How would a grandmother in the village in Central Province know about Arsenal? You know, that is what he has said.
Yes.
You see, these
Yes.
are issues, so that if she loses that money, she must be told that you don't know what you're doing, because she doesn't know what she's doing.
Sure.
And I was, my last story on I stepped in a bar in Kisumu, and there are people I know. They sat. So this one guy, he came in, he was a bit tipsy, and his friends started laughing at him. You must have been gambling. You know, their term they used, which I can't remember. Then he said, yeah, I have just hit 20. I have just hit 40,000.
Okay.
So when he sat, I said, how much do you gamble per day? He told me 20,000. You know, there must be a way that the state and the stakeholders tell people that if you can invest 20,000 shillings
A day.
a day and get 40 in a week, you're a very bad investor. You're a very bad investor.
Because you've lost 100.
And in all these countries that we go to, remember I told you we do not allow advertisement of tobacco anymore.
Yeah. Or
Because
alcohol.
of alcohol.
Yeah.
We don't do it.
Yeah.
If you go to the United States of America, the states or the government takes it upon itself to tell people how to invest, where to invest. So all these other ones are leisure. But this thing we are creating in our society of hustler mentality, that people can actually make money without working, it's a serious thing, because the effect of it 10 years down the line, how do you reverse it?
Yeah.
How do you there's a way we can do this thing so that it is leisure.
Yeah.
It is leisure.
Captain, are you concerned it might get out of control? I mean, people are getting tempted more and more. The Francises of this world are, you know, they're saying, you know what? If he can get 23 meter, like Moishimura says, that's a one-time thing. I'll be rich. I'll go into another profession.
Yes.
I'll retire.
And Jeff, yes, I'll answer that. And also I want to comment on the advertising. And that's why I like to say regulations are different in different countries. In the same America, you can drive when you're 16, but you cannot drink until you're 21. Right?
Yes.
Here, 18 is the legal age for everything.
Yes.
So what we need to do is borrow from certain places and ensure that we have a proper framework. And secondly, Jeff, sorry, I forgot. Oh, people getting tempted.
Yeah.
Now, that's why I'm saying, if there was a problem, a real problem, it would not need a few people shouting about it. It would actually be manifesting itself very, very visibly. And as he has even explained, the money he puts and says, let me try this bet on Arsenal today, I probably lose. It's people who I give more credit to Kenyans. I think we need to give them more credit than we think. I really think we need to.
Let me ask
In every situation, Jeff, in every situation,
Captain, let me ask you
there are
real
people who get out of control over everything.
do you bet on your...
Yes, I've bet.
And?
My biggest win was 50,000 when I bet on a correct score for a Barcelona game, when I staked 2,000 shillings.
So
I can show you my history.
Yes.
Yes, I have several bets.
And you bet on the correct score?
Yes,
and
that
you
was
won
the
50K.
luckiest. That was the luckiest I've ever done. Of course, the rest will be 500 from 1,000,
Sure,
something of
but
the
someone
sort.
would ask, isn't that a conflict of interest?
That's why I cannot withdraw the money. For mine is for play only.
Oh.
So on my system, I'll have the balance, which works, but I cannot remove the money.
So the 50K stays there?
It stays. It's just I cannot remove the money. It's not my money.
Okay.
You know, that's a lot of money for Jeff. we are sitting with our newest millionaire.
Billionaire.
No.
This one is
yeah,
billion.
Francis. Correct.
But let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I have done my calculations as a member of parliament. You know, we are said we are the most paid Kenyans and all that. In 5 years, I can make only a maximum of 28 million shillings. Here you are telling Kenyans that it is okay to do nothing and make tens of millions.
23 million.
Let me just tell you, it is a game of chances. Some people will win it.
Sure.
Some people will win it, but we must let Kenyans know that nobody gets rich by chance. And I started by telling you that international statistics, people who hit the jackpot, only 2.4% succeed.
Correct.
So you know, we are dealing with something which is not abolished everywhere else, but let us also do it here in a way, like he says, where people know I am about to do something that I can lose all my livelihood
And lose big.
And lose big.
Which brings me to my tweet here from Salim Vayani, my good friend. He says, and listen to this, Francis. He says, I gambled for a good 10 to 15 years at all levels. I still have to find one gambler who has won in the long term. Right? And then he says, you may win once or one night, but overall, every gambler is a loser. Francis, you still tempted? Bado nataka kuenda kugambo, sio?
Yeah.
Unajua kuna wabunge watatu tangu nikuje bungeni. Sitawataja jina. Lakini vile niliwaona, 3 of them wamewahi kuwa cabinet ministers na wanatokanga hizo maofisi wakiwa wanatembea na mguu, hakuna gari.
No.
One is my close friend.
Ni CS.
He was a minister, a full minister during Moi. Another one also.
Because of gambling.
So gambling, hapo nyuma ya Intercon. It's compulsive. They must be there. I'm telling you something which I have taken my time to look at the people. I have seen what it does to people. I understand this new phenomenon, but I have only raised 4 issues. The biggest one is this thing of addiction, and number 2 is how do we prevent the baby boys from doing it. The other one is this thing, how our money is being used in an economy that we beg. And one other which I said, the one which is money laundering.
Yes.
Which now, as I understand it, is involving some politicians also.
Sure.
We must, and I am not, the sports pesa is only one, but this thing is rotten down here. In fact, it would be nice for you to look for them to own up, come, do what my brother has done. You understand?
They're not going to come.
They're not criminalizing him.
Captain has just come. The others won't come.
Even the regulator.
Exactly.
Get us the regulator.
Yes. Hold that thought. I want some closing thoughts. Okay, Francis, starting with you. Advice kwa watu wale wana gamble kila siku. Utawaambiaje? Angalia hiyo kamera hapo. Ongeleshe.
Tendawaambia ni wasiweke mindsi zao zote kwa gambling. Na wakati na gamble, zile pesa wanaweka pale awe akijua kuna kulose na kuna kuwin. So atarajie mambo mawili. Asiwe tena tarajie ta win, ako na mawazo mawili. Ata lose ama win. Kama ameweka 100,000 akuwa tu akijua ata lose ama win. So ni a bet kimakini. Na kitu ya pili ikuwe ni kama leisure. Si kuanzia asubuhi mpaka jioni uko tu kwa kubet. Ikuwe ni masaa ya jioni wakati umetoka job, wakati umepumzika sasa una bet.
Yeah. Hiyo 23 meter utafanyaje nayo?
Nataka ni buy plots ama land.
Wapi uko Kitale?
Anyway, mahali popote tu.
Yeah. Una bodyguards hapa au Captain, closing thoughts going forward. SportPesa, Hull City, Arsenal, KPL, Super 8. Go on. Going forward.
I just want to say, I thank Kenyans for the support they've given us so far. Our sponsorships have borne fruit. We've reached out to so many people. Sport has the power to touch so many people, and we are happy that they have taken up the dream of 2022. The rugby people are also so happy with what we are doing. But I want to say that there is a space that the regulator needs to come up. What Francis is talking about is what the regulator should be talking about. We as the operators will do our part, but we cannot do everything. The regulator needs to come up and also take their position, because the industry has grown. So the regulator needs also to step up to the plate and show the country, to show Mheshimiwa Midio that they are doing their job. Otherwise, these stories that there is no regulator, there is no regulation will come about, when in reality there is regulation. The slot machines are illegal operations which should be taken care of, so they need to step up to the plate. Finally, again, I want to remind Kenyans to play responsibly. Anything can be abused. The story he has talked about the cabinet secretaries, it could easily be about women, it could easily be about alcohol, it could easily be about many other vices. So in life, we must make a balance.
Absolutely.
Let's be responsible. We'll keep pushing that message as responsible operators.
Mheshimiwa, before I come to you, real quick, are you sponsoring the rugby team?
Yes, we are sponsoring
the 7s or the 15s?
The 15s. And please come for the game on Saturday against Hong Kong.
Ah, fantastic.
Yes.
What about our fantastic Olympic team? Are you plan to sponsor them?
Yes, and it's sad what happened, with the mismanagement of everything. We've been approached. Sadly, we can't do everything.
Sure.
We'll do what we can, because this has been the place where we've seen the best impact.
Okay.
For the future, for sure, we might do something for the Olympic team. Yes.
Mheshimiwa, you get the final word. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm happy that even the things that Captain says do responsibly. By the way, you need that guy on your advertisement team.
Yes.
He has a good head on between his ears.
Yes.
He's saying the right thing, because he that even says he wants to invest the 23 in some land, he must know that he can lose it and never win again. And that is a mess. Everybody gets taught something. So as I'm happy that I'm hearing we can partner together to at least have some law, at least even put some penalties on the regulator, because when we talk about failed state, people fail the state. States just don't collapse. It's not an earthquake. Financial systems are failed.
Correct.
What this person walking around in hotels giving people the so-called licenses, they are illegal. And I said last week that General Kaiseri, being the CS under whose docket this thing sits, remember it gets moved because of the political interest and the money is involved, needs to just issue an order, take these things off the streets. Let's begin somewhere, because that person with a slot machine, are they also sponsoring Gor Mahia? Are they paying any taxes?
No, they're not.
You understand? So we can't sit back and watch. We do have a responsibility as a people. I am sure you would want 50 years from now, your children or your grandchildren have an orderly society. You visited orderly society. But this disorder that the state is creating, and the state, I mean parliament, the judiciary and executive, is not acceptable.
Absolutely.
And we don't, what I don't do for free. I'm on taxpayers' salary. So we have to come, and I'm happy that the media is now beginning to call the stakeholders, including ourselves, to talk about it. I was in another media house just
earlier on,
finished.
yes.
But about a week ago, And the host told me we can't talk about gambling because the media, the newspapers are benefiting. Why can't they help these people to do it responsibly?
No, we have to talk about it.
Yeah.
By the way, do you gamble?
No,
Come on,
never,
come on.
never. I do. I am a very brave person, so I take risks, not of money, and I don't believe in money like that. So I don't think you can get rich without going to work. Of course, I know I need money to go from point A to point B, but I don't believe you must do reckless things to get rich.
Are you an Arsenal fan?
No, I'm Chelsea. I am Chelsea.
My man.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that? What is that? Go on. Today, what? Yeah.
You will be the first. I think you'll be the first Kenyans to have the official Sport Pesa kit. I know you're Chelsea fans,
Yes,
but please
when they play
accept
Hull City.
it's a gift. You can.
Thank you, my brother.
There you go.
This is Hull City.
So on Saturday when they're playing Man
Yes.
United,
No,
feel free to don the shirt.
It's a no-name team. Why would I
You
say
never know. You never knew of
no.
Leicester before last season.
I never knew.
Before last season, miracles happen in
Thank you,
football.
Captain.
No
I
problem,
appreciate that,
no
man.
problem.
And when
Thank
they
you for
become
having
like
us.
Leicester, they said Leicester was nowhere.
Exactly.
The
And you didn't
Cinderella
know of
team.
King Power
Yeah.
before you saw Leicester
There
play.
you go.
Yeah, big
Francis,
brand now.
good luck, man. Asante sana. Nashukuru, Captain. Good to see you, man.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Francis. Mheshimiwa, as always,
Thank you.
thanks for coming on.
All right.
This is great.
Good.
Let's continue the debate.
Definitely.
Yes, I think it's a good debate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for watching. Keep tweeting at Karauri R, at Jacoy Midiwa, at Koinange Jeff. The hashtag is Gambling KE. Tomorrow night, this is due to public demand, by the way, popular demand. A few weeks ago, we went to Juba. I don't know if you saw that show.
Yes.
And we interviewed the president.
Okay.
Mheshimiwa, you didn't see it?
No.
Okay, so tomorrow night, you get to watch.
Okay.
We're going to repeat the interview with South Sudan President Salva Kiir because there's been so many developments. John Kerry, U.S. Secretary of State, was in town. They're talking about 4,000 peacekeeping troops being sent. The U.S. has committed some 13 billion shillings. So it's only fair we repeat that interview with Salva Kiir tomorrow night right here on JKL. In the meantime,
I will watch, but the southern Sudanese scenario makes me not want to be an African.
I know. It's tragic. It's tragic.
It's unnecessary.
It's Shakespearean.
It's
Tragic.
primitive.
But will you watch tomorrow, please?
I will.
Primitive is the
Yeah,
word.
it's primitive, yeah.
Thanks so much for watching. Good night. Good luck.